Let's go to Doug. Doug is in Boston, Democratic caller. Hi, Doug. You're on with Sebastian Gorka.
Oh, hi. An underreported factoid is that the person at the United States Treasury Department who is in charge of directing the sanctions against Iran, Sigal Mandelker, happens to be an Israeli citizen. Maybe that's you don't find that problematic, but given the recent article in the New York Times by Ronan Bergman documenting how the Israelis try to drag the United States into conflict with Iran, I kind of think this is germane to the conversation. And I'd just like to remind you of a quote by the late Senator Fritz Hollins in May of 2004, in which he said, Iraq was invaded to secure Israel, and everybody knows it. That is a verbatim quote. Perhaps you could benefit us with your knowledge of that area. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day.
Happy to, Doug. This, again, is so disturbing. I don't know if this person exists or whether they have Israeli passport or not. But what Doug has just done is demonstrate the innate anti-Semitism of today's Democrat Party. What this caller just did is bring up the hoary anti-Semitic cliche of dual loyalties, just like Rashida Tlaib did. The fact that you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, proud anti-Semites in the Democrat Party, the face of the Democrat Party, supporters of the outrageous boycott, divestment, and sanction movement, which basically questions the legitimacy of the Israeli state, our closest ally in the Middle East, who actually question the loyalty of congressmen and women who happen to also be Jewish, is where we are today. If you want to see institutionalized racism, especially anti-Semitism, it's on the left, and Doug just gave us a beautiful example, or rather, a disgusting one.
Grant is calling from here in the nation's capital. Independent caller. Good morning, Grant.
Good morning. Hey, I didn't want to talk about this, but I agree with the previous caller that it's okay to question the Office of Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, which AIPAC lobbied to set up, and its sort of string of hardcore pro-Israel leaders from Stuart Levy to David Cohen to Adam Zubin to Sigal Mandelker, who all seem to do most of their analysis and public events at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, which is AIPAC's think tank. So I think it's entirely legitimate. You don't need to be smeared as an anti-Semite to say, hey, you know, these people are working at the Treasury. There are a lot of Treasury positions that don't allow dual citizens to work in certain areas, and that includes the Federal Reserve System. But anyway, my real question was this.
There's no such position in U.S. government. You do know that, right? You just stated a fallacy.
To Jeremy Sharp's latest report, and they talk about the qualitative military edge that the U.S. is supposed to maintain for Israel, but they never seem to mention that Israel has nuclear weapons, and the CIA said that publicly in 1974. The DOD released a report about that, the nuclear infrastructure over there. So I'm just wondering if Sebastian and other pundits believe that it might be good to stop lying by omission when talking about the qualitative military edge and start talking about Israel as the leading state Middle East nuclear proliferator instead of dancing.
Proliferator? What are you talking about? Who is Israel giving nuclear technology to? Really, you've got to live in the real world, Grant. Try it. You might actually enjoy it. And the idea that you are questioning people because they are pro-Israel, since when is it a sin to support democracies in the Middle East who are invaluable to our intelligence efforts and to stabilizing that region? Again, it is saddening. It is in fact sickening that we have anti-Semitic tropes underlying these seminar callers as C-SPAN. I am pro-Israeli. I always have been. Everything I've said and written supports that nation and its right to exist as the homeland of the Jewish people. The idea that somebody in government supports Israel, yeah, and we support many countries. Israel is one of them. But to question people and list their names because they have Jewish names, only fascists make lists of people with Jewish-sounding names. Grant, Doug, all these people. Stop it.
We will make America great again.